Intuition Secrets. We have Honey Golden and Lisa Schermerhorn here with us once again. The trio is back again. We got some interesting subjects we're going to be talking about. Ladies, how have you been?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, it's getting wild.
This is going to be a very interesting subject, near and dear to my heart because I've had some experiences myself. ET. So we're going to do ET disclosure on this podcast, and they recently came out with UFO disclosure. They released a lot of files and so forth. I predicted it would be a nothing burger, and it was a nothing burger. And so but it was a start. So I think that's where we need to be. And they released a lot of files which validated many things that have been out there for some time, so that people could do the research. And then those that have never been exposed to it, can be exposed to it. Good.
Yeah, no, I was watching the news and they look like these little dots just flying around. I was like, really? That's what you got?
Right. Little Tic Tacs. Yeah. Around. So.
Mm-hmm. We see them like every night. So. Yeah, you guys are pretty remote too, but if you just look straight up, they're just right there.
Yeah.
All the time. Usually. Yeah.
Yeah, right out behind me, there's a valley that runs up through here, and it's like right behind me is like a pyramid. It looks like a pyramid, completely looks like a pyramid. It's like, we call it the pyramid. It's a pyramid. So, and one night I saw over the lake these like 6 or 7 little shooting star type things. I was like, somebody's doing fireworks. And they just kept coming right up over the water and just went right up this little valley right here and disappeared into the pyramid. So,
wow.
Like, wow, okay. I just saw UFO activity. So that was pretty cool. And both of you had many experiences.
That was over the mountain in front of my house for hours.
Just sitting there, huh?
Just sitting there. It looked like a giant smoke ring.
Wow.
It was there for 4 hours. It never moved.
Mm-hmm. Lisa gets the best pictures.
No kidding. Wow.
That's my next
craziest pictures. Yeah. They're
like,
oh, ta-da! We are
over my house.
Yeah, that one is awesome.
Oh, that's a really good one. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun.
We were in Mount Shasta one time, and Tracy just randomly went outside, and it looked like there was over Mount Shasta. There was, they have those big clouds that looked like flying saucers are in them. And so she just randomly took a picture. She just felt, random picture. We looked at it later. It looked like there were dragons flying up into the cloud. I was like, okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this one was in Mexico. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea if that was an angel or an ET or what it was, but I was at a restaurant and we were overlooking the water, and I just randomly took a picture and I was like, what is that? It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Wow.
So fun.
So what are your thoughts, honey? You're the deep intuitive of the group.
I think they're seeding. They're like seeding the consciousness.
Yeah.
So are they ready yet? What are they going to, what are they going to do? Mm-hmm. Are they going to freak out? And didn't they also release a letter to all the pastors? Did you hear about that?
Yes, I heard about that.
To get people ready.
Lisa.
Yeah. What?
You tell the story because I don't remember all.
I don't know what was in the letter other than that they sent to all the pastors to get their congregations ready, because the information that's coming out is going to conflict a lot with the Bible and everything that's been taught. So they were giving them information on how to deal with that.
Yes, exactly. Somebody's asking for me to interview Ismael Perez.
Yeah.
Oh, he's frozen
again.
So
I've had him on several times.
Yeah, I had the opportunity 2 weeks ago. I was at the Awakening. It was a Awakening event in New York, and Brett Olson was there. Laura Eisenhower showed up after the event. We spent the day together, and Chris O'Connor. And it was so funny because the original intent was to talk about sex trafficking and children. So there was a woman sitting next to me. She was there to speak on the second day. And Chris gets up there. And for those of you who don't know him, and if you don't, please look him up. He's the kindest, sweetest man. But he was taken at the age of 2, taken to a satellite outside of, not a satellite really. He was taken to a ship outside of Saturn. And it's 20 and back. So they age progressed him. And he goes into, I have his book, Man of Mimas. Where they took him was a moon called Mimas. And he was negotiating with all the different races. That was his job. So he talks about his life. He's had a lot of trauma in his life. He chose to incarnate into this world, and he brought back ET technology with him. And what's interesting is he made them sign a contract before he came back, and they're like, well, you're going to just forget anyway. So they didn't care. They didn't think he'd remember. So they signed a contract allowing him to have this technology. And there was he found out another ET race that put some implants into his brain to allow him to remember. And he brought all this technology. And this is amazing. And I've had some incredible experiences, and I feel myself physically changing. It's meant, when you look at it, it'll say that it was meant for pain relief, because that's all he's allowed to say. But it's a magnet that draws out negative energy. And then it also, if you turn it around, it creates a vortex and the energy goes back in. But it's so much more because it's interdimensional. And I've been having some crazy experiences with it. And you hold it. It also balances your chakras. He's not paying me for any of this, by the way. Like, he doesn't even know I'm doing this. I can't leave it. Like, I take it with me everywhere. Dreams have changed. I'm having really graphic dreams, clearing out a lot of stuff. And I said to him, does this remove implants? And he said it could. And I said, I feel a huge shift. Like, it does a lot of things that he just leaves people to figure out what it's doing. But I meant to use it to work with a client online, and I left it in another room. And so I couldn't get out to get it. So it's communicating with me telepathically. So I asked it to run through me to connect, which it did. And when you hold it, you feel this tingling sensation all over your body. Like, you can feel it running through you. And then we found an implant on the client, and it ended up removing that from her. So it's amazing stuff. His story is incredible. And I was on the phone with Honey yesterday. I was driving, because they also, one of the things Chris says, the higher the frequency the being, the greater the sense of humor they have. And so they like to joke around and play games with you. So I'm driving, and I'm like, I just had the weirdest thing happen. You know when they put the cones down on the side of the road for the workmen? So I'm watching them pick them up, right, on the side of the truck as they pick it up. And then I get down like a ways, and they're putting them down in the front. And I'm like, honey, what you're picking them up in the back and they're putting them down in the front? She's like, the ETs are messing with you.
They just wanted to see if you'd notice.
It was crazy. And they came to me in a dream last night. I saw them green, and they were giggling, and they woke me up. But I had my eyes closed. So they're getting closer and closer to us. It's been really fun. It's been really fun.
It is really fun. Yeah. The only few ET experiences I've had, it's been because I wake up and they're in the bedroom. And usually I'm like totally out of order. I'm like, what are you doing here? You know, get away from me or whatever. Like my nervous system kicks in and then I'm totally like this rude person. And, and then they disappear. So it's a pretty funny experience. I think it's going to get easier and easier.
Yeah, he tells the story of negotiating with other races, and then they can communicate telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said he'd be in these intense negotiations, and all of a sudden they're telepathically telling him like really bad dad jokes, like to mess with him. And so he's trying to communicate with them so he doesn't mess up this big negotiation. And he's like, that's just what they do. So the higher the frequency, they just want to have fun. They're all about love. And he said that they love us a lot and they're really excited to help us. Like they're really, really excited to be here and see the shifts and changes that are happening.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
On Venus, they, all the planets are occupied.
Yeah.
And just like on our planet, they come and visit. Sometimes they stay a while. Yeah. And they interact with us, but they're throughout the planet. Every single one of the planets. Saturn has many moons, and there's many like super soldier groups and so forth that live on the moons. I have memories of living on the moon. I have my own moon. On my family has so they, depending on your ranking, you'll have your own moon, and they're pretty significant in size. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think, oh, it's so far away, it's cold. No, the sun's energy continues all the way through our solar system. It's not any different. So it's not intense at Venus, which is closer, or any of the other planets. So it's kind of the same heat index all the way through, all the way across the planetary systems. So there's lots of stuff they told us which is untruths. For whatever reason, those being the negative ETs that control this planet to a great extent. So at some point we overcome that, and I think we're very close to that, but it has to be a more major shift in consciousness, and that's why the pastors were told, prepare your groups for some information that's coming that's going to be devastating, because religions are control systems. And so once people start to realize that, they're going to reject that. And so there's going to be some that don't want to, of course. Some people don't want to believe a lot of things. They don't want to believe that 9/11 was an inside job. So I just looked it up. I was like, there's groups of people that believe the recent shootings were real, and groups don't believe they're real, and I'm like, that's all the people that believe the government is lying to them. So it's like, so we still have a lot of work to do to wake up. It's like 1/3 of people, only 1/3 of people really have awoken to the 9/11 thing, and I was like, at this point, everybody's awake about that, but only 1/3. It's devastating to me that how still controlled that we are. So the ET, the seeding, like you're talking about, honey, is absolute. It has to be seeded in edible doses. So that's where we're about right now.
We also have the NPCs who are not going to be able, and what percentage are they? Which is a large amount. So I wouldn't really, worry about that. But having a conversation with Chris, he was saying that he believes that Jesus was an 8th or 9th dimensional being that came in, incarnated into a human body.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Probably even higher than that. And he's been here over and over and over again, and started out in the first Egypt. So what we call like the Grand Canyon and this whole area, Utah, Colorado. And you can see all the pyramids. There's been lots of rumors that you can actually walk to Africa through the Grand Canyon. So there's so many things that are like hidden that I think are going to come out pretty soon. We talked about something kind of cool this morning with Lisa about the second internet that was discovered. So that's another form of disclosure. And there's secrets in that internet, which will be exposed. So they're seeding all the time. They're seeding with medical stuff too, like the teeth regrowing enzyme that has a little patch on it. All of this ET technology that's coming in, I mean, that's beautiful that you have it in your hand. And I'm excited for mine. But it's everywhere and it's going to come in really quickly. So they have to introduce it and then they test the consciousness. But I do think most of the holograms, they'll probably be here a little longer than some of the actual NPCs that are deciding, I don't know if I can do this. I don't think I can do this whole thing and reach this frequency. And they're getting ready to go. And you can feel it. Like there's some pretty freaked out people right now and really badly behaved people that I've noticed. And I'm like, wow. Like the most bad behavior possible is happening. And it's because that's clearing out. And as they split off, and most of them in our eyes will pass away, and then they'll ascend without their body. Then they won't have all that trauma that they're hanging on to. But the holograms, I feel like they'll just fade, in chunks. They'll start to fade away. And then Earth will feel pretty empty, but we'll still have millions and millions of people here, but they will be the awakened people.
Yeah. Well, I was laughing because I was like, Vermont has so many NPCs here. I was like, who's going to be left to like plow my driveway so I can get out of my house? But, and today I was just walking with my daughter. We were walking her dog, and we went by a property that had a robot lawnmower. Have you seen those actually in action yet? I hadn't either. That it was like this little robot, like the vacuum cleaners. And the lawn was meticulous. It go right up to the edge of their property. And I was like, that's insane. You just have that thing running all the time. I mean, there's a lot of things that we won't need people to do. So we'll be freed up to do what we really want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And, the NPCs are basically put there to run the agenda, to help run the agenda, to be kind of like a blocking force. So when I say there's only 1/3 of people that, are awakened to some of the stuff, because that's all there is that are real. So, humans with souls. So I think I agree with you guys. I think a lot of these NPCs and holograms and so forth are fading away already. I've seen that, over the last year. This just seemed everywhere that I go, and I travel quite a bit. Seems to be a lot less people out there.
Yeah.
No, it was even, I've been really noticing, like looking for NPCs, and it was the funniest thing because when I went to have my hair done this morning, the woman who washed my hair was like a walking Barbie doll. And there was like nothing there. Her eyes were like glazed over, and she just had this like perpetual smile on her. I'm like, oh my God, that's an NPC. You can see them. Like you can really, really see them. She was like on autopilot. There's no depth to any conversation. It's just like they're on a loop.
Yeah.
That's like a hologram.
Yeah. Might have been.
So like in the holodeck, and we're starting to recognize more of it. And it's very weird because you can speak directly to one and then they won't say anything. They just look at you. It's like you don't even exist. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna go.
Have you ever seen them like repeat the same thing? Like they'll say something to you, and then you'll see them interact with somebody else, and they repeat the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that is really amazing. So that's definitely NPC. So yeah, we're starting to see them. It's very, very interesting. Now, somebody in the chat said this is very interesting. Is it true that there is a higher percentage of indigenous people taken by ETs than non-indigenous peoples? And by taken, maybe, you know, taken up with the craft, and then they come back and they have interactions.
Also taken by the reptilians because their blood is more valuable. They're more pure, I think, is what I'm understanding. They value them. That's, if you look at the races that have been put down so much, like if you look at the African population and the indigenous, they're all put down because they're really powerful.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yep. And the DNA is more pure.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
So they don't want them to get power, because if they do, then they'll overcome them very quickly. And when they show a lot of the pharaohs from Egypt, a lot of them were actually you know, from the black race, and they make them look white, and that's not true. They weren't.
They break off the nose a lot of times.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Yep.
Well, the other thing is, my understanding is in Egypt with those statues, apparently they were shamanic, like they were living statues. And one of the things they did was to chop off the ears so they couldn't hear, and chop off the nose so they couldn't. And so they would actually kill the statues. Right.
Yeah.
It would lose its power. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were told that when on some trips that I went to Egypt, people that are really well informed, don't look into their eyes. So,
really,
and protect yourself, and so that they can you know, possess you. I was like, wow, okay. So I wasn't gonna tempt that and try that, but yeah, I didn't look at the eyes, and I felt that there was some energy on some of those statues.
Yeah. There's one, is it Luxor or the Sekhmet? The Sekhmet statue, they have a private room where there's one that's still living, and you can have private.
Amazing.
You have to ask to go in there. It's not Luxor. It starts with a K, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But that one, yeah, I did, and I've had Karnak. Yes, it was Karnak, and they had people say that it's communicated with them, like you can hear it communicating with you.
We went there, and there's like tons of orbs, and it's just when we're in the presence of that statue, you feel the love. It's impressive. Now, Sekhmet was a goddess of war, but in that particular statue, I think she's holding a rose or some kind of what do they have there? Not tulips or lilies, but
the lotus.
Lotus. She's holding a lotus, and at the heart level, and so that energy is coming off of her from that love frequency. And that is, I've seen other pictures of people where there's like just rays that are coming off on them and all kind of amazing stuff. So that is one of that is definitely one of the positive statues that are there. I'm glad that it's still there, because the evil ones want to destroy that kind of stuff.
They tried to move it to the new museum in Egypt, the Cairo Museum, and people said if you move it, it will lose its power. You can't move it. So they were able to save the statue and keep it there. The story with Sekhmet, though, was she was angry because the people were not listening to Ra, the sun god, and they were misbehaving, and she went on a killing rampage. And to control her, they took this body of water that they turned, they made it look like blood, but it was beer, because she was bloodthirsty at that point, and she passed out from drinking too much beer. And then she had a change of heart for the people. So now she's much more loving and in that healing space. So that's why they say that she was the goddess of war and healer. but her energy. And one of the things that Chris was telling me is all those Orion beings that were there during the in Egypt, all of those gods, they're actually paying penance right now because of what they did, because they made everyone believe that they were gods when they weren't. They were just extraterrestrials. And so they're actually, their karma is to help us ascend right now. So they're all working, helping us ascend. They're supposedly benevolent now.
Except for the ones that were sent back to source.
Yes.
Because there are several of those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He who shall not be named.
Yeah.
When I was there with a spiritual group. God, I think it was like 10, maybe 15 years ago, probably more like 15 years ago. And the energy there in Egypt was still pretty high. And I went there just a couple of years ago and it was gone. There was no real spiritual energy left. One of the temples that we went to, think of the pharaohs. She was a female pharaoh, but her area was incredible the last time I was there, and I was like, something's off here. Yeah. And then I saw, you could barely see it, but in one of the corners, it looked like there had been some kind of sacrifice. I saw some blood stains and so forth, and burn marks where they had burned, some whatever, and did a sacrifice. But I was like, okay, there's some very, very negative stuff here. So it's unfortunate. I think it can all come back, and that's part of the process, that we're going through. There's a push from the negative side to stop us. That's kind of what we're seeing with some of the scientists that are disappearing, and there's an opposite push also that's happening. People like us waking up and having these discussions. They were probably going to do Project Blue Beam, but by releasing this information, which happened just a few days ago, that stopped that out. So there's this push and pull that's going on right now, and we're in some very interesting times. We got this crazy hantavirus situation that's popping again. So I think it's part of the awakening process.
It is.
It has to be, because
it's so dumb.
I couldn't.
There will be people that will die, and so that's one of the unfortunate things, because they can manipulate vibratory fields and create these energies and so forth that can overcome people. So those that aren't healthy or those that are low consciousness level could be intercepted and taken advantage of. That happened the last time. Will it happen again this time? I don't think it will on the level that it did last time, but I think they're going to get a little traction, but not as much.
I saw something that said that actually is a side effect of the COVID vaccine.
Yeah,
hantavirus is actually one of the side effects. Yep.
It probably too, if you think about it, it's part of the vehicle that will take out the ones who really can't up their frequency. A lot of people will need an excuse to go. They'll need a reason, how am I going?
Right.
And that will add fuel to some of these things. But there's so much disclosure, and so much of it is like, look at this. This used to happen all the time.
Yeah.
And people are just like, are you kidding? Like, you're doing that again? No, I'm not interested. So the less interested we are in those disclosures, not that we're not seeing them, but the less energy we give to them, then the faster we move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the negative ETs brought the COVID in, and maybe they're trying to do the same thing. Probably are trying to do the same thing with this hantavirus. The person to person, it seems like it's starting to accelerate, or at least it is in the narrative. whether it's really happening or not, remains to be seen. Looking at 9/11, I watched that and I was like, oh, somebody got in and planted explosives when I saw the buildings collapse. So I knew right away, but how long did it take other people to wake up to that, from the narrative? So the narrative can sometimes capture people, and it's probably capturing people now. I see, these posts where people are already getting vaccinated and all that kind of, I don't even know if that's real. They even have a vaccination, capability yet for that. I know they were developing it a couple of years ago. Why would they do that? Another round of the same stuff. So it's another awakening process. Now, I think they're very concerned that we are waking up and we're going to push back on them. And that, I guarantee you, that is coming.
Well, if you look at, they don't get very creative. They just do the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Because it worked. And now people are waking up to it, and they can't come up with any new ideas. So I was listening to, someone sent me a recent Gene Decode video, and he was talking about, and I don't know, he was saying that the Save Israel for Last has to do with a queen that's under Mount Hermon. Mm-hmm. She's a dark ET that was under there. I can't remember what they called her, but I don't know if you know anything about that, or if she's been taken out, or if she's still actually there.
Gone.
She's gone.
Yep, gone.
Probably one of the fallen ones. When they landed on Mount Hermon, landed because they came in a ship, landed. So I think is it Universal or Paramount? They have like these stars that come in over the water and there's Mount Hermon in the background or something similar. So there's all this information that's out there where they're pushing the agenda. I have a Costco magazine that came yesterday, and I opened it up, and let me grab it real quick.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they have those in Kazakhstan. They have like a whole room with 200 seats in it, for the fallen.
Gone viral.
Oh, geez.
and look at the female.
Oh my God.
Chinese. So, that they're already ready to push this out, even the corporations, just like they did last time. So it's another one of those, how many people are awake and how many people are ready for this next round, and how do we push back? And positive ETs are watching.
They are. Well,
and then interact with them.
What is it, Bill Gates?
Stars. We gotta overcome these challenges.
So Bill Gates was just indicted in the Netherlands.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and those were angels, somebody's asking. So think about what it's like to come from a higher realm and have to drop into third density. So they would call them the fallen. I don't feel like very many of them actually went bad, but they had to come here. And we had a lot of help. We've had help in every single civilization to get closer to ascension. But it hasn't worked until now because Source or God or whatever you want to call all the oneness is like, okay, we're done. We're done now. So that is the change, and we're in it at this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's the negative side and there's the positive side. So in this current reality, I've been involved in super soldier stuff, and I have other realities that I'm involved in it as well. And in this one, when they tried to basically cancel me out with the helicopter and the heart attack machine, and that didn't work, they basically came in and took out and this shoulder right here still feel where it was, but there was a implant there, and I was brought out of my tent. I think I told you guys about this, but I was brought out of my tent, and 3 little grays basically, cut it out of me, and I was communicating with them, and they were telling me that they were very sorry because they really enjoyed, working with me and so forth. And I got the feeling they were from Groom Lake, but not necessarily Area 51, but there are other areas around Groom Lake where there's more high-tech stuff where we interact with ET groups. So I'd interacted with them, and so they were very sorry. And so there's a learning process that goes back and forth. And that's one of the reasons why the ETs love to work with us and play with us and so forth, because they learn from us just as much as we learn from them. And I think a lot of people are going to start to see that the fear that they try to instill in people about ETs and so forth is going to start to disappear. Of course, there are negative ETs in super space program, and as a super soldier, we battle negative ETs, but for the most part, most of our galaxy and other galaxies, they're very positive, ET races, and we're all, there's a lot of similarity. Pleiadian, Arcturian, so forth. Orion, not so much the Orion, but a little bit of Orion. But there's a lot of similarities. Sirius. There's a lot of similarities with us, and because we're seeded. We're one of the few planets that's been seeded by multiple different, ET races.
No, yeah. It's so cool. The book that both of you are in, We Are Quantum, it's gone to the formatter. And yesterday, before I hit send, it's a very nerve-wracking thing. It's like when you're painting a painting, it's like, when do you make your last brush stroke, Mm-hmm. And I was holding my device and I was asking it to just send, good frequency to it and ask it to attract all the people who needed to hear or the particular chapters. And I was looking at the top page where the cover design was, and all of a sudden it flipped to the end. I didn't touch the computer. And I was like, what? Yeah. So this is really exciting. There's 36 authors, including both Michael and Honey. And we've got Joe Vitale and Christiane Northrup wrote the foreword, and Sir Robert Edward Grant, Dr. Carrie Madej. It's a really amazing. It's a group of people. Some people communicate with plants and animal kingdom. It's a whole Tom Althouse, who wrote the original screenplay for The Matrix, is in it. So I'm really excited about this. We're doing a big authors launch on June 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern time, for people to get to know some of the authors who are available to get there, and then they can get an early bird price of $888. And of course, I came up with the price before I know how much the book is actually going to cost. So it might actually cost me money to get these.
Oh, are you going to put it on Amazon?
It's going to be on Amazon.
I don't think it'll be more than that for you.
Yeah, she said right now, depending upon the font, it's over 300 pages.
Oh, it's big.
Right.
Yeah, it's big. So we'll see if we can get it down. But I don't want the font too small. But I've also, on this particular landing page, the authors have been interviewed. So you can go on on the website, on the landing page, and there's anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour long interviews with all the participants in the book. So I'm really excited to share this. And Chris, I slipped him in last week. He got me his chapter, so he's in it too, talking about the Deems device. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah. And all the pictures of all the authors are down below. There's Christiane Northrup. She wrote the foreword. Yeah.
I didn't realize that Carrie Madej was into all of this as well. I just thought, I'd only seen her with a COVID-19 disclosure, and then I had her on our show recently, and she just started going down that rabbit hole. And I'm like, what? What is
No,
that?
she tells
She's
us,
like, I was into this before COVID, and that's where, so she goes to all these conferences and stuff. I had no idea. That's pretty amazing.
yeah, she told an amazing story in the book about how she was in a plane crash. Mm-hmm. And how her ankle was completely twisted, and they thought she was going to be paralyzed, and how she healed herself. And the story is insane. So yeah, it's on my website, lisamindset.com, if people want to do a register for the author event or pre-purchase. So
I've got the link in the description box too. So
yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing, the stories Tom Althouse talks about, and his experience of channeling the book and what he went through in his life, writing the Matrix, and
good stuff. Wow, that's gonna be a powerful book.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Honey, what'd you share? What'd you share, honey?
I just love all the quantum stuff, that's coming out. We're doing quantum healing every month. There's quantum books coming out. My book has a lot of quantum stuff. I'm excited for the next book. I just feel like knowledge is like coming to us, and it's so much bigger and better than it has been before. And knowledge that we bypassed in the past, we're now ready to absorb as well. Oh, that's what all that means. That's what that writer was talking about. That's what that person was talking about. And people from the 60s and even, longer, in the past, they're coming up, and it's so relevant to right now.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And you guys have the quantum healing that's going to be this Thursday, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that's 12 o'clock.
I'll be here for that one. So that's going to be yay.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Yeah, we've got 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock Eastern time. And it's $44. It's an incredible value. We do 2 for the time changes. And Honey answers questions afterwards, but we go into the Akashic records, and people have some really profound experiences in it. It's really been a lot of fun to see these people really transform.
Yeah. It's time now to clear all of our past lives and all of our traumas, all those things that hold us back from vibrating at a higher rate. And it's been really beautiful to be able to just basically help people do that. We're not doing it for them. Exactly. They're actually concentrating on it, and we're guiding them through it. But it's a really fun thing. And I'm just really grateful that we can do it,
Yeah. It's really important for people to take responsibility for their lives and understand that we're holding space for them, but they have to take the responsibility to actually make the changes in their lives. And it's a lot. I mean, I still, even though I do this full time, I still am clearing. It's layers, because you're still connected to parallel lives, past lives, inherited ancestral trauma, all of that stuff you're carrying. So the more you clear it, the more clear you are, and the more you are fully in your body. Like, I'm seeing such huge changes because I'm doing it every month. I'm getting healing too. So the more I work on help other people, the energy comes through me, and it's been an extraordinary journey to be able to help people and do this work.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
That's really good.
And have either of you connected with other lives on other planets, other star systems?
Oh, yeah.
No, not yet.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
I've got to say. So I've had some during the Orion Wars that I connected with. That one wasn't so fun because we actually got sucked back into the planet as it was exploding.
Oh, wow.
And then it kind of comes in on itself, and the ship was pulled back in. We didn't get off of it fast enough. There was one where I was a king on some planet that was red, and I was male, and I had a dragon friend, and I got to ride in his pocket, and the pocket was made of skin, so that was kind of gross. And then I was going to marry him to this other dragon, so I was going to be the official, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the official. But anyway, so there was all this drama because it was two dragon clans that were going to get married. And she was a beautiful pearlescent white, and he was like dark blue. And it was like a lot of drama between the two clans before they finally agreed to let them get married. And then they did. And then I, did that. And you lived a long time there. So by the time I was dying, there was this huge amount of, children that had come from me, children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And I was like 1,000 years old. And the whole hall was just filled with people. So it's just been it's really fun. I've found parallels where somebody in this lifetime was mad at me. So I was like, why are they so mad at me? And then I'm shown a parallel, and then I have to clear the parallel and basically fix it.
Yeah.
So that they won't be mad at me anymore.
Yeah, I've had that. I've had that where I'm dealing in this lifetime and had to clear parallels because I was like, why is this person so mean to me?
Right.
I'm like, I just met them. What's going on?
I know. That's very interesting.
Definitely. And so I have one on Series B, and it's 6-dimensional. And so I talk with it occasionally, and it's kind of like, keeping tabs on me and helping me ascend, because when I ascend on Earth, that being ascends, and he's working with me. It's kind of like one of those things. He has to have me ascend so that he can ascend. I say he, but it's when you reach different dimensions, it's no longer she.
So, because you broke up a little bit, so you mean that the fractal that is you in this lifetime, as you ascend, you will go join another part of you in that 6th-dimensional or 7th-dimensional space?
No, it stays. It's still the same dimension. It will increase. So there's different, like you're talking about fractals everywhere. Still breaking.
They're messing with your internet.
Yeah, your tech is wacky.
Yeah, you sound like you're underwater for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm still ascending in the realm, but I go back to that.
Okay.
That energy where I've split my fractal energy that I have here, I have multiple energies in like one's in a basin and the sea here, right where I show a dolphin form, and I have in base and I'm an admiral of the fleet. There's different reasons why I will stay here, and one of those is because I have so many lives that are this one.
Yeah, you're still breaking up. I'm not sure what's going on, but we can't hear you. And you're frozen.
Let me shift a little bit. We're gonna get a little bit of a break. It'll come right back. So give it a little.
There you are.
There's a little better.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Oops, I don't know if he's frozen. Well, he's
He's
going to
concentrating. He looks like he's concentrating,
go.
trying to fix it.
So now we're on the other internet. So when I start getting messed with, I shift to another internet. So I think we should be good now.
Yeah, that's much better.
Good.
So
I haven't messed with for a long time. That's I guess the subject matter is that's why they're killing a lot of people off right now, because they want to control that ET, UAP, UFO, whatever you want to call it, information. Because if we wake up to that on a great scale, then they get canceled out very quickly.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because Carrie Cassidy spoke at that event 2 weeks ago too, and she was, by the way, this poor woman next to me who knew nothing. I thought she was going to lose her mind. She's like, I'm supposed to speak tomorrow. I'm not coming back. Between Brad Olson, Carrie Cassidy, and Chris, I thought she was going to lose it. We all had to take her out for a drink afterwards.
It's a lot.
Brad's talking about the Nazis in Antarctica and on the moon bases, and she's like, I thought we were talking about child trafficking. We're like, we kind of are, but you don't know that yet. But yeah, it's insane what's about to come out. And watching that poor woman in real time, and Carrie was talking about, she believes that David Wilcock is not dead. She did a whole thing, and she thinks I don't think he's dead either, that he's just been taken off. And he even started I watched his last podcast, and he made some comment in the very beginning, this is going to go out with a bang. And I was like, did you really just say that?
He knew.
Yeah, there's people in the chat, they don't think he's gone either. So
yeah,
and some pretty intuitive types in the chat. So yeah, there's people are going to have their experience, and I don't discount that and bash on that or whatever. There's a lots of different information out there, like 9/11. You still believe in the 9/11 narrative? That's fine. You still believe that President Trump was almost assassinated at Butler, PA? That's fine. But you still think Charlie Kirk was assassinated? That's fine. But I say no, and I bring the evidence of why that is not a reality in this dimension. But some people will cling to it, because that's just like we're going to have some people cling to the hantavirus, unfortunately, and like they did with COVID. They are told certain things, and their mind just gets compromised by it, and they can't get out of it. So that's why I think it's very important for us to get this information out there in front of people, so maybe it will help them not get captured consciously.
Yeah, well, the media does a great job of brainwashing. I mean, that's a huge part of it. Plus, all the technology. I mean, you talked about the voice to skull that happened to me while I was driving. When I went by the sign that was flashing, it said, "Get your COVID vaccine," and I was like, "What?" And I was in the left-hand lane. I fought my steering wheel for 5 miles. And then there was another flashing one, and I got the voice again, get off the exit and go get your COVID vaccine. And I had to fight it again. And I was like, I knew that wasn't my voice. But for someone who's just completely not awake, and I've heard that people ended up at CVS is not even remembering driving there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that technology is pretty wild. I mean, if you think about how they got, what was that? The American pilot out of Iran they traced his heartbeat with technology. They found his heartbeat signature.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they were looking at him from space. CIA has some very, very high tech satellites out there, and they can see in great detail. So they were looking at his area where he was kind of hiding, and they weren't quite sure. And then he moved just a little bit, and they're like, okay, there he is.
Yeah.
But you're right. Somehow there's something I didn't realize they were
It's
connected.
through his
to
heartbeat
but they can't do that.
signature. Yeah. Yeah. It was crazy. And in talking to Chris O'Connor, because he's already been forward many years and then back again, and he's like, everything's going to be so beautiful. He's like,
good.
what we're coming into, don't be afraid. He's like, it's incredible what we're coming to. And he said, don't be worried about them getting all your information, like doing, when you go to the airport and they're asked for your eye, for clear and all that, because they already have it. They have everything. Yeah. If you get paranoid about them having your stuff, they already have it. It's a fact. They have everything of ours.
Because you just look into the screen. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got it all.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
If you're reading, your respiratory heart rate and through your eyes, and so it's definitely a capability they have, and we've had that capability for we being CIA types and for a long time, for at least over 20 years. Because that's when I remember it being utilized. So, it's far more advanced than, I've been out of the CIA for well over 10 years now. And the stuff that I was exposed to, we won't see it for a while. Just like when I was in the military, it took, like the GPS stuff, we were working on that back in the early 80s, 82, I think it was. So we had that technology back then, but we didn't see it for another, about 20 years later, maybe a little bit more than 20 years, about 25 years later is when it became available in our cars. But we had that 25 years before that in the military, and satellite systems and all that kind of stuff that were being put up. So no one knew about that, but there's those technologies are there. A lot of them are ET technologies. And so that's one of the advantages. We won't have to it'll be just a matter of where your consciousness is at, what you can handle, what you won't resist, because there's a lot of people that resist a lot of stuff that's not normal to them. For me, I've learned to have an open mind. I'm like, bring everything. I want everything, all the new stuff. And so that's going to be, the way it will be for some, but not for others. Some people will take a little bit longer to assimilate that information.
Yeah, definitely. That's how I see it. There's a robot that can clean your house, and I'm obsessed. So I can't wait to get one of these robots. Yeah. They're like 20 grand right now. And of course, my house isn't big enough to really warrant them, but I'm like, I cannot wait for this robot. So just get the things that are fun for you, that make your life easier. We don't need to do all these menial things anymore.
Yep.
They talk about the AI is actually beneficial to us. Just don't put it in your brain. Don't put that unless you're missing a limb or you're missing something and then your body requires it. But don't integrate with it.
No.
But working with it, they're here to help us.
Yep.
That's how the Greys got in trouble, is they integrated with it, because they were another, the tall Greys were human. That was a different Earth. And they had screwed it up so badly that they needed DNA from us to try and rewind what had happened. Because they created a really bad situation for themselves. I feel like we have access to a lot of 4D stuff, and we will continue, and that'll get bigger and bigger, and then we'll move into the 5th dimensional tech.
Yeah. So, a lot of the stuff, there's comments in the chat about this, where, movies and so forth, we see some of this stuff, and, there's different sides of this. Some of the stuff they show us, they have to show us, and then they can do it on us. But some of the stuff that we're seeing with the high tech stuff is they're just getting us ready for it. Star Trek, that's the med beds and all that kind of stuff. Some of those technologies are here, you know, the LifeWave technologies and water machine, all that stuff. That's medbed level stuff already.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brilliant people out there that have been suppressed. David Schmidt, fortunately, is one of those that have been able to work around that, and stay alive. But a lot of them haven't been, unfortunately. And we're seeing that, like we're talking about with the doctors disappearing. Some of them, I think, like David Wilcock, were basically Valhalla or whatever, you know, something like that. So
yeah.
Well, if you read Ayn Rand, it's just laid out that way. And it was so funny because right when COVID began, I was just walking everywhere. I live in the mountains, and I downloaded both of her books, The Fountainhead and it was amazing. I'm listening. I was listening to her, and I was like, and then everything started to unfold exactly how she wrote about. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That
All
was
the inventors disappearing. Yeah, that was part of Disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, brilliant books.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, I have them, and I'm like, oh, I just don't.
They're so good. Well, you know, the audiobook, if you're walking, I speed it up to 1.5 times.
Yes.
Yeah, I audiobook both those. And some of our other works too were good. They weren't as you know, as intense, but they're good as well. And then there were other people that were, you know, part of her group, and I read some of those people as well. There was amazing information that was coming out during that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I'm really hopeful, and I see people shifting and changing so much. I'm seeing the people who are waking up. But even we had Joe Rosati at my house from Truth Stream, and because he was at the event in New York and then came up and visited, and we had a big party. And one of my friends, Donnie, came up to him and said, you know, he was very in your face in the beginning of COVID. And he was like trying to tell people what was going on. And he was kind of evangelizing things. And it got him fired from his job. He worked at the ski mountain, and they fired him. And he recently had someone come up to him in tears, and he said, Donnie, we all thought you were crazy, and you were right. And Donnie broke down into tears. Because so people are waking up. It's happening. You know, everyone, you know, getting frustrated and feels like nothing's coming out, but it is feeling like it's drinking from a water fire hose right now. Mm-hmm. The amount of information, you can't keep up with it.
Yeah,
I don't think we need to, really.
No.
But you know what? Everybody that's listening or will listen, there is a way. Quantum healing, you can come, and I can tell you it's very, very relaxing, and then so helpful afterwards when you guys do the Q&A. Wow.
Yeah. Because
a lot of times I'll find myself, you know, answering before you guys do, and so I'm tapped in good. But I encourage other people to do the same. You know, come and do the meditation. God, it's like incredibly cheap. I mean, it's like there's nothing like that out there for that price.
It's $44, and it's a subscription. People come, and it's on Zoom, and it's recorded, so they'll be in the library. You can watch them several times. People bring their pets. The animals love it. We just ask people to leave their door open in case the energies get to be too much for them, so that they can leave. But people have had really profound shifts and changes. It warms my heart. It's like I look forward to that monthly healing so much. Love those people.
It's really beautiful.
The energy of everybody there is like stupendous. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's it should be on your monthly calendar, or you know, you can come in and, like Lisa's saying, do it over and over again. So it's great meditation regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not a meditator, this is one of the great ways to, you know, begin as well. And if you are an advanced meditator, it's good, because I'm an advanced meditator. I think it's fantastic.
Some people fall asleep. Towards the end, they're falling asleep, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
I had people tell me they were doing, I got courses where there's meditations in the courses, and people were saying in the chat, and because they'll comment on the course and stuff. So one lady's like, I haven't slept that good in a year when I did the first meditation. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess you needed it. So
Yeah.
But I fell asleep in the first one that I did too in remote viewing. So you have to learn to like keep your attention in the moment, and it takes a little bit. So it's a learning curve, but it's fun.
But it's also, if your body needs the healing, like there's a clearing that's happened, and what happens is people will yawn when they're clearing, and the energy is moving through, so you're healing. So if you fall asleep, that means that you really needed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your body's healing at a really deep level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing now that we're learning more and more about the universe and we actually understand it better. Like we're starting to understand how things work. Then the quantum healing makes more sense.
Right.
So it's not as out there as it was when we started. Now people are like, oh, okay, I get this.
Oh my gosh, 25 years ago, I started out as a Reiki practitioner, and kids were asking my daughter, is your mom a witch? I had people asking, do you have a back door entrance to your shop? Because I don't want anyone to see me coming in. I'm like, how am I going to stay in business if no one knows what I'm doing? And now people talk about past lives and shamanism at cocktail parties. So it's changed so much, which
really has.
is amazing.
Yeah, I used to talk about past lives in some of my shows, and the numbers would go whoop. But not so much now. And sometimes they'll click up a little bit depending on what I'm discussing. But it's becoming more and more acceptable, and I think that's part of the consciousness shift that we're going through. It's people are waking up to so many different things. The things that we're discussing right now, this would not be in a conversation piece 10, 20, definitely not 20 years ago, but even 10 years ago. So we've come a long way, and people are waking up faster and faster. So I know a lot of people are like very frustrated with all of the negative stuff that's going on, hantavirus or whatever. It's part of the waking process. It speeds the process up, right? So people are saying, oh, they're doing that again? Oh, hell no. It's like, we're not going to do that again. So that's good. That's very healthy. And we need to see a lot more of that, going forward.
Well, you have to be able to ask yourself a question. How did Moderna have the vaccine ready in 2024? It's happening now.
Right.
And so hopefully that will, wake people up again. But I don't know. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
It is crazy. And that's why you want to do a good meditation. So
yes.
So come in and do the meditation. It's good. It's good for you. It's healthy.
Oops.